James fucking Scarlett. For the third time in 6 days, we go again, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's nice to see your face again. This episode doesn't come out for 10 days' time. This is I think this might be the furthest in advance we've ever recorded.
It's
10 days.
That. I mean, 10 days' time, I suppose we'll get a working in for that. But I spoke to you Tuesday, and I spoke to you Thursday, and now it's Monday, and it's like, wait, to do a podcast, something needs to happen in your life. I mean, so something needs to happen between episodes where you actually have a chat about. No, like, I mean, I've seen you 3 times more this week than I have my mum, my brother, my other family members. If you don't live directly in this house with me, I have seen James Scarlett more often than anyone else. It's ridiculous, man. It's fucking. So we get into a bit of a system or a schedule, a rhythm that we would speak to each other like once a week on screen, and then it'd be the odd voice note or a message. So like 3 times on screen in 6 days is a lot.
It is a lot. It's starting to feel like a lot, but it's good. We're pros now. We can't consider a week off.
Well, I suppose that's the thing to address, because I went to the group to say, look, I am busy as fuck. I don't really have a whole lot of time to be going and researching podcast ideas. James is packing up for his holiday, which he'll be leaving on tomorrow. Throws a bone. Is there some discussion, some stuff? No a Q&A as such, but is there some things you'd like us to broach? We could maybe have a bit of conversation about. And a few people said, "It's no big heartache for you to take a week off." I mean, you're allowed to take a week off. Like, fuck that. No weeks are getting taken off. We promise you there's a podcast out every Thursday, and there'll be a podcast out every fucking Thursday. So, especially for people support it as well. People actually put 20 quid a month into the Patreon and expect something that they're paying for. So, yeah, they've got every right to expect. If you're paying for this, you've got every right to expect that. Well, you've got to just shut down your Netflix for a month and say, that's us away for a holiday. So, maybe you're sitting there and going, oh shit, they guys gave me 150 hours of content and I've never ever bought them a drink or put in on the Patreon. Maybe this is the time to push that button this time and go, fuck it, you know what? We will go and support that. And we'll keep on showing up every Thursday, even if I need to see James 3 times a week.
You're going to miss me, mate. You're going to miss me, I think.
In
the run-up to Damnation.
Tell me this. This is maybe a conversation for not on the podcast. What day are you back?
Late Monday night on the 3rd of November.
So the aim really is to try and do a Tuesday one when we get back before Damnation. Is that what we're trying to do?
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah.
I mean, Tuesday, I'm actually hoping to get to Crippling Alcoholism that night in Glasgow on the Tuesday. And then the Wednesday morning, I'll be in a van down to Beccarina. So we will... we'll see how that pans out. We'll make it happen one way or the other. That will be the Damnation preview. But I'm under.
I thought you were going to sit in the middle of the BEC and.
I know, but that sounds like one of the things. It sounds like a cracking idea at the time, and then I'm down there trying to get shit sorted, and it's just a terrible time to do a podcast. I mean, recently they've all been a wee bit of struggle to fit into the weekly schedule. But fuck me, actually, of Damnation week when tour managers are phoning every 2 minutes asking whether merch delivery is going to be in. I mean, like I said, we will be out that Thursday. We will do a podcast no matter what it takes to get out that Thursday. But the Tuesday might be better for me and not en route to. I mean, all you need to just come. It's not as if you're going to be very old, man. What's the time difference there? 2 hours or something?
3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not going to be fucking jet lagged or anything. So you're going to be coming back merry as can be, sunned, relaxed, and ready to go.
Only because of Damnation. I hate going back. I'm the moodiest returner from holiday in the world, but. Damnation. So
Damnation will be what it is for that. So you are having Monday night beers because that's what you are, aren't you? Or will you just tell me lies? Look at that. So what I've done, mate, I don't even drink beer. I've dug myself a wee cold Damnation brewski, and I'll toast your holiday with you, mate. I will have a drink with you. The sound of your holiday, mate. So I hope you have a fucking great one. But before then, let's have a chat. We'll see. This could be the shortest and the most useless podcast ever we've done, or it might be a bit of fun. So tell me what's been happening, James, in the 2 or 3 days since I spoke to you last.
I think we can do a bit of fun, mate. Well, this whole Fact of the Week segment is proving to be a a ball around a chain around my neck, a ball, and fuck knows what I'm trying to say. So my fact of the week, that's what I'm trying to say, is about the size of festival sites, right? Outdoor festival sites. So the total area of 2,000 trees is 160 acres. I think the interesting bit of that only 16 acres is the arena bit. So 10% of the festival site is like stages.
Where the music is.
Yeah. And the total area of fields for ATG is 130 acres. So ATG is 130 versus trees 160. But the arena is still 16 acres. So they're the same. So that is my fact of the week. An acre, for anyone wondering what the fuck an acre is 4,000 square meters. Whether or not that helps you.
Doesn't help me at all.
No. So
it's a football pitch, isn't it? Most people just say an acre is about a football pitch.
I don't know, but yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was going to go deep into this, but I'm not going to go too deep. But basically, we have the acreage of all our campsites and car parks, and that really, the campsite and the car park is really where all the site is used. Tiny little arena, 16 acres. There you go. That's my fact of the week.
Well, there you go. By all means, people, let us know how these facts of the weeks are going down for you, because if he comes up with a few duds, we can definitely tell him. And if he does the good ones, let us know. I tell you what, James, I'm not an IPA guy at all. I don't drink any, but that's smooth as fuck. Like the Damnation IPA is smooth, isn't it?
Is that this year's one?
It's not. It's still the one from. Is it IPA version 3? They do, so would have been last year's and the one they've been selling through it this year. But it's just, if I was going to drink beer, this is the kind of shit I would drink, because it is actually quite tasty.
Mate, I can feel you changing. Talking of quite tasty, I think it would be remiss of me not to mention that for the first time in 9 years, Manchester United beat Liverpool at Anfield yesterday. And for the first time in some years, I actually skipped out of bed this morning. You know that feeling as a football fan, which I'd actually forgotten existed? Like I had about 20 years of it. Just feel, that good, oh man, something amazing happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, you never get it as a Man United fan now. It's just like a desert of fun. There is no fun. Anyway, I skipped out of bed this morning. That's all I've got to say about that.
Well, if I'm going to do the fact of the week, the football version, Celtic were beaten by Dundee at Dens Park for the first time in 37 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I was pretty depressed. It's like Rangers are saying, do you want us to show you how shite we can be this season? And Celtic are like, hold my beer. It's like, Rangers like, let's make this season like a one-team league campaign, which we can normally get back with. And Celtic are convinced that they're going to try and make it interesting and let Hearts win it instead. So it's a funky time to be a Celtic fan, but what can you do? But we're not a sports podcast. We're a music podcast, James. So tell us about
I very nearly asked you about the new Rangers manager then, but we're not a sports podcast. So also this week I went to see Biffy Clyro. So they're doing a little acoustic tour of smaller venues, and they would normally play to promote their new album. It's they're doing like 50 minutes to an hour long sets in sort of underplay venues for them. And I went to see them at the Prospect Building, which is a new venue in Bristol. And it's where I'm putting on Kneecap and Bob Vylan in November. So it was quite cool. It's literally just opened. And it's a fucking brilliant space. This gig was in the smaller room, which is called Crane. It's 1,250 cap, I think. Biffy were incredible. It's cool being up close. We were really lucky, actually. Me and my cousin were about to go in, and we bumped into the guy who basically runs the venue, and he was like, do you want to come down the front? I was like, fuck yeah, we do. So I was just about to walk into an absolutely packed room at the back, and he snuck us in the front, and we were right by them. And just to see like massive arena rock band up close, singing stripped back, where you can't hide acoustic, can you? You just like, can you sing? Can you play? We're about to find out. And it was really fucking great. They played shitloads of their new album, which I was well up for. So yeah, and very nice to see Mr. Mike Van Aert up there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the other band, Biffy, do acoustic. I mean, I had the chance to see them one time in King Tut's. By the point they were already like headlining Download, and it was, it was really good. They're a band that can really pull off their acoustic. The set in King Tut's, it was really good. So, okay.
yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. The last thing's a bit mad. There's this story about holding absence. I sent this to you earlier on. You've had a look, have you? So this is all over like Metal Hammer, Enemy, and Rolling Stone. We're actually a couple of weeks behind, but I wanted to mention it because it feels like a fucking mad thing. So the Enemy headline says, AI band inspired by holding absence overtakes them on Spotify. So the frontman Lucas had written somewhere on social media, so an AI band who cite us as an influence, i.e. it's modelled off our music, have just overtaken us on Spotify in only 2 months. It's shocking, it's disheartening, it's insulting. Most importantly, it's a wake-up call. When I was reading into it, it's a bit like living in fucking some weird dystopian future film or something. Like the band is called Bleeding Verse. Their bio is kind of sinister. It says, Bleeding Verse is an emotional post-hardcore band crafting cinematic soundscapes and heartbreaking heavy melodies inspired by artists like Dayseeker and Holding Absence. We blend ambient textures, soaring vocals and poetic lyricism to explore grief, identity and healing. This is the bit. Lyrics from the heart, AI-assisted instrumentation and vocals. So is it a guy sat in his room writing lyrics and feeding them into a fucking computer and asking them to copy Holding Absence, and then they're bigger than Holding Absence? It's fucking weird.
That's I knew nothing about this till you sent me the link this afternoon, and then the next thing you know when your day takes a weird turn. You're listening to AI music based on Holding Absence. So I went and I listened to it, and I was like, right, okay, so what is this? Is this? I mean, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, but so there's no human element, or there is? And I kind of, what I got for the bit I could read is, yes, there was somebody there who's got lyrics fed into the AI generator, the chat GPT of music, based on bands like Holding Absence, and it spat this back out. And when you listen to the top track, and it was, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how do you. It sounded like that. It sounded like you'd make my band sound like this band had done it. Because after that, I went and I listened to Holding Absence, which I didn't know them at all. They reminded me actually of a band I saw at the Trees with the singer I met a couple of times, Boston Manor, like that sort of same. So I was like, I'd listened to the boys, and what I'd done is after I listened to the AI track, I listened to more than one of the Holding Absence tracks to try and recalibrate the algorithm that I've been put score to for that team. And it's just bizarre because I don't get I can get the interest, maybe Spotify playing in the background, the same way you get with some, I don't know, generic dance music or something that's not really someone who's doing nothing new in the EDM scene. They're just using different samples that have already been out there and firing them out under some name. And I'd be like, I listen to that shit in the gym, just some sort of mindless beat in the background that's been done a billion times before by a billion other artists. And if it's like that, then okay, it was. But I don't see what the interest is for any fan beyond that. Because if it is just some guy writing lyrics, writing poetry and feeding into a chat GPT music algorithm and getting a spat, that surely there's never a live project to that. Surely there's no investment if there's no people behind it. It's a bit like you can love the Metallica music, but you're not going to go and see the Metallica tribute band, even if they play it better than Metallica do, because your investment's in Lars and James and Kirk and the rest of the band. So it's just, I found the whole thing a bit bizarre. I have not had enough time to actually sit with it to think, what's the point? Why is this of interest to people? I mean, if Holding Absence exists, why do we care about this AI version of Holding Absence? Or is it just one big con and Spotify's using it and putting it into all the playlists and forcing us? And it looks like it's like a sort of modified playlist, isn't it? It's like the numbers are, because Spotify are probably like, okay, we can get away with paying less to this writer. And we don't have a bunch of actual musicians, and there's no, I don't know, for I guess a PRS and no management and no people chasing this money down, then we can still get as many people listening to Spotify as what we want. but we can do it at a much cheaper. The product we're putting out is cheaper for us to do. Now, that's all guesswork in my point. I don't know the ins and outs of how Spotify pays artists and the difference between an AI artist to a genuine human. But I mean, that'd be a guess. Otherwise, why even bother? There has to be some monetary value in it for the people that are doing this.
Maybe, although, I mean, I can see why sitting at home writing some words down and then making it make a song for you might be quite an entertaining thing to do. Just like I might like to play on someone's drum pad for a bit and like pretend that I can be
I mean, I can see from their point of view. If you go, Gav, stick some lyrics that you could write into it and it plays this music back to the sound of, I don't know, Health or Aaron Afrak, I would be interested in that as class. Look, I've created this music. But what I'm saying is, for the fans' point of view, what's the investment to get back when the actual bands you're modelling on do exist?
Yeah, but for me, the problem is, I think, is that you're judging the wider listening public by your own standards. Like, me and you are not normal people in the way we listen to music, partly because we run festivals and we have to book bands, and also because we listen to a lot of music. Whereas some people, it's just like music is just another commodity that they have in their life, and they're happy to get fed any old shit. I mean, actually, it could be good, I guess, if it's based on. I mean, Holding Absence, a really popular band. They're very popular at 2000 Trees. Played loads of times. Would love to have them back soon. And yeah, I guess people who know, I mean, I don't know where these listeners are, it could be, Spotify's a worldwide thing, but it's weird. Either way, it feels pretty dark. Apparently Spotify is supposed to be cracking down on this, because I think my take is that it doesn't really matter now, but it will matter one day. Like, this could fuck this sort of thing is like it brings the conspiracy theorist out in me. It's like, where does this fucking end? I mean, literally just before we came, so I'm not a conspiracy guy. Just before we came on, I was doom scrolling through Instagram, and this thing came up where this guy was predicting that in 2037 we'll all be hiding from machines, and he was like, it sounds like a joke, like a Terminator. This is like Terminator or something, but like, we don't really understand where AI is actually going, or some people might, but me and you don't. The general public don't. And now, honestly, I don't know about that. I don't know anything about it, and I'm not suggesting that's true. It's probably utter bullshit. But if you sort of draw that into this thing, this could be like the end of music as we know it. I mean, if the computer can do it as well, then you're fucked, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you get like AI, like you get fucking AI porn now. It's like, just create the porn style that you want rather than the human that looks like that. I mean, I suppose you get a situation very quickly within a number of years that you'll be able just to type in the type of music you want, and it'll go through the filters. Do you like that with industrial tinges? Do you like that with blackmail? And someone will spit out the other side and say, here's music that should be perfectly suited to your taste. Maybe it'll be that you listen and think, oh, this is absolutely brilliant, but I don't know, but like in the AI art, you can do that already with AI art. You get something, you always think, but I'd rather, maybe we're different, but I'd rather pay the artist and get something that's original, that's been done by them. I can make AI artwork for the Damnation posters. We can do it. It's readily available, and something it's okay, but you don't.
But will it ever be able to, I want to think that it can never recreate Kurt Cobain, and it can never, I mean, even like, let's talk about some pop music, like the Spice Girls, like full of attitude and personality and stuff. It can't ever recreate the Spice Girls, surely. I mean, it can no doubt fucking copy shit, emotionless crap fucking music, of which there's a lot out there and it's popular.
You've got AI say, give me the next Westlife album. I will spit out something that would sound exactly like the next Westlife album. It was just generic, big radio friendly. I mean, top 40 is fucking, it'd be better with an AI generated top 40 than the top 40 that's fucking been for the last decade or so anyway. So, this is what happens, people. You give us free rein, we'll give football management and fucking top of conspiracy theories.
This went, I just want to be clear. Fucking hell. I don't know where I was going with that 2037 we'll all be hiding from machines thing. That is not my vibe. I'm not suggesting that.
But that is utterly terrifying, because the thinking with that whole AI and when the machines gain consciousness, because it's all about that, it's about once the machine knows from itself that it's the machine, and if we're just completely surplus to the requirements, at that point, surely it's just Armageddon on that day, because they're not going to be waiting about decision making. There's just going to be fucking missiles getting fired everywhere, and You know what I mean? It's going to be... So your best just not to think about it, because no one's stopping building them. So you might as well just be like, right, okay, maybe we will be hiding. I always say that the most pure lifestyle, if you don't have to worry about this, is just being in the forest with a couple of sticks. Maybe that's 2037 for us.
With the sound of a clanking machine. Okay, right. Let's fucking move on. That beer went down well. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to say in my weekly waffle is just to remind people. So it's quite hard to do this now, because in 10 days' time this will still be true, I think. But to remind people that Trees and ATG are both around 75% sold out via the super early birds. If you want the next cheapest ticket, which is the early birds, go on the website, join the waitlist. There's some exciting news coming very soon. I got sick of giving too many hints on the podcast this time last year, and I think it backfired on me. If anyone's wondering where we've gone, we haven't gone anywhere. I'm going to be organising this when I'm on holiday, so read between the lines. There will probably be some music coming in your direction. Really
okay,
soon.
when you say backfired, is that when you say like the whole internet's going to like be set itself on fire for the let living, and people say no, that's to be, I don't know, fucking Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Like there's
He's
no
got
good
Tool. There's Tool.
Tool are playing 2,000 Trees on the forest. So I get what you mean.
And also just giving people dates is annoying, because then you can't change them. So this year I'm trying to be a little bit less just chat. I didn't even plan to just say what I just said, so there you go.
I'm glad you stopped there. Well, as I say, all I've had since the last spoke really is the weekend. Obviously, I'm close up to my eyes with Damnation, but I feel like I have expressed that in what's been happening. And the pod before Damnation starts will be a sort of preview pod, so we can get into all that, including we get asked some topics about Damnation back down through the years and the 20th anniversary and highlights. May well touch on some of them on the preview one, get into Damnation, build a bit of excitement about the history of the festival. So we can do that then. So what did I do in my weekend? On Friday, for the first time in fucking forever, I went to the cinema with my good wife, and we went to see the Leonardo DiCaprio with One Battle After Another. You're not much of a movie guy, were you?
Well, I used to be. I've got really out of the habit of it, but I was a massive movie guy, but probably 20 years ago.
I see. I am. The one thing I don't get much out of the movies is just anything that's just completely unoriginal muck. I don't have any tolerance for whatsoever. I mean, you had Happy Gilmore 2 on the last week or the week before, and it's in itself, it's like, it's completely fine, but it's so boring and it's unoriginal. It's just watching it and it's just like this. I know exactly what's coming next to it. Like every single one, it's just dull. It becomes a tough watch, and that's all the movies are at the moment. The cinema, everything's just a remake or a reboot or reimagined version of a film we watched 20. I mean, even the fucking trailers, it's like Running Man's coming back again with the new version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you're just like, fuck, do we really need that? There's no one's got an original idea. So fortunately, whoever was behind One Battle After Another, like Leonardo DiCaprio, did have an original idea. It's sort of non-so-subtle take on the direction that America's going. Pretty, I don't know, religious fucking far-right extremism. You know what I mean? Somewhere between The Handmaid's Tale and what's actually happening with Donald Trump's America at the moment. And just the fight back for the left. And aye, it was good. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio does like a film that goes on for 3 hours, man. I mean, what made this good is cinemas these days have bars in them. So when I went, okay, we'll have a pint, we'll have a large wine in a plastic pint glass, and then you're like 20 minutes into the film, and also that you're in recliners, don't you? You're in fucking full lying down beds with your nachos, and you're like, this is the best thing ever. I went back to the bar and I just bought another 2 pints of wine. So by the time the film was done, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was a wee bit scooped. So I would recommend, if you're getting yourself along to the cinema, do that. The week before, I did take my youngest daughter to see, it was a Night of Zoocropolis or something like that. The worst pish film I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, like Pixar without the plot.
Hang on, what number is it? Because it's actually one of the first one of that is one of the kids' films I enjoyed with Kit when he was younger. What number are they on now?
All right, is it? No, but it wasn't Zootropolis. It wasn't. It wasn't that. It was Night at the.
Oh.
So it was something else, and the entire plot was a pink orb comes out of the sky. It turns animals in the zoo into jelly, like horror jelly figures, and then they work out that if they play a certain music, they get saved, and that's it. That's the fucking whole plot. And we like, you might as well just have wrote Happy Gilmore 2 because it was fucking. I'm just watching it going, what the fuck's going on here? But my 7-year-old enjoyed it, so I suppose that's what you need to know about it. And she normally she has to share a big tango ice blast with her big sister, which she didn't need to do because she was there and she had a popcorn to herself. So she was fucking delighted. She wasn't picking at the plot holes and the lack of graphics for the Pixar type films, the cheap budget versions of the cartoons. But I wasn't happy, and also I was actually being a responsible parent there, so I never had a bottle of wine either, which certainly didn't help.
No. Incredible. People are probably wondering what the fuck's happened to Two Promoters One Pod. We've gone football. Now we're reviewing kids' films.
Well, if you think that's bad, here's a restaurant review to follow up. So last night, was it last night? What day's today? Monday or Saturday? So, and I would never, honestly, I worked in a restaurant for years. I do not go in. I accept when mistakes are made, and I know what I'm about to say is going to make me sound a bit like a cunt, but we're fucking opening up. I mean, this was a wee bit of just getting the piss taken out of you a wee bit. I goes for dinner with my in-laws and the family and my son and his son's girlfriend, and went to a wee Italian place from the corner that we support quite regularly. And we went in and it was like, this isn't available and that's not available, right? Okay, fair enough. And we ordered the wine, and me and my wife, I'm like, yeah, guaranteed they're charging, right? It's almost £40 bottle of wine for Valpolicella del Paso, and they showed up and it's Valpolicella, right? That's the difference between just giving you a blended whiskey and then selling you the price of a malt whiskey. And I was like, oh fuck, that's going to be dog shit. And it was dog shit, but we just like, okay, so we could see, but we let them pour it anyway, so just live with it. And then it was like the porcini mushrooms is button mushrooms, the tiger prawns are just the wee prawns in the prawn cocktail. And then what the fuck was the third thing that was an utter just a piss take? Oh, my son's girlfriend get risotto, and it wasn't a risotto rice, it was like basmati or like easy cook. And it's like, yeah, at the time, any one of those things just themselves are about, okay, fair enough, just go on with it, they're not having the best night. But I just felt like a wee bit like, these guys are tramps. They'll never know the difference. Never spent a fucking day in Italy. I couldn't tell you, couldn't pick Italy out on the map. And it was just like, no, every single one of them I did notice. And then when they came across, they gave me a whole sort of, right, how was everything then? And I was like, I don't want to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. I do feel like we're getting the arse ripped at us a wee bit, and you're putting this stuff in front of us because you think we don't know any better. And it agreed with every single one of them.
Fucking hell.
He goes, mate, that bottle of wine shouldn't have said that. We shouldn't have get charged that. You won't get charged for that. The chef mixed up the mushrooms. We ran out of the king prawns, so we just put in the wee prawns. And obviously, mate, there is no explanation for the rice thing. And the funniest thing about it, so me and him, I'm saying, look, the reason I'm telling you this is because I am not going to go onto Facebook and slag off your restaurant. I'm not going to go to TripAdvisor and do some Karen-style 1-star review after I've already left and paid the bill. I'd rather just chat, and I'm not even looking for any money off the bill. I'll pay exactly what was there, but just, I'm going to be back here. I want to come back here. You're my local restaurant. So this is just no, I don't want to feel like you're taking the piss at me at the same time. And he's like, no, absolutely. And then it was like, here's a grappa on the house, here's a limoncello on the house, here's a coffee. Next thing, I'm fucking absolutely steaming. The funniest bit is he moved to the next table and the wee woman went, the risotto's lovely, Marco. So that's my restaurant review, and I will be back. And it was like, I feel like when you do something like that and it just gets addressed, like, right, okay, mate, just like don't take the piss. I mean, I know I look like a Glasgow tramp, right? But I did work in an Italian restaurant. I do know the difference between a fucking risotto rice and some basmati for the back of the kitchen cupboard, mate. So just don't take a piss.
Incredible. Wow, we've got, fuck, I mean, we've been to some places already.
Right, well, we'll get back on track. We'll get back on track with our ever present, our good friend Lou's Brews. Tonight I had 2 sides of salmon. I done one in the air fryer with one of the Lou. I done one with 2000 degrees, the cheese one, the hot sauce. Done that with some veggies and a bit of the honey sauce as well, and couscous. Absolutely beautiful. Works on everything. Had a quick check of his site. He started doing seasonings of the Abyss in a Slayer style, and he's got Nashville, lemon pepper, mango and lime, and one he's just called everything. So I don't know what the fuck, whatever the fuck's in everything sounds like it'll be a classic too. So looking forward to trying his seasonings and adding that to my addiction. And he's got all the Damnations restocked, his El Burrito buffalo sauce, his El Burrito fiery mango, all these stocked too. Pod 15, go and support the big man.
Yeah, and I would just like to say that the garlic sriracha is fucking brilliant, which I opened yesterday for the first time, and it is banging. Very garlicky, but really good. Nice level of heat. So
yeah. that's his the aged for 2 years garlic sriracha, not the new extra garlic keeper one.
Correct.
Right, because the extra garlic keeper one's also fucking lovely, and the garlic comes right through with that.
Good stuff.
Right, we finished with our reviews of movies, films, restaurants, fucking football managers, results.
Yeah, we'll be back. But yeah,
okay.
Finish for now.
Okay. We will, this isn't a Q&A, genuinely isn't a Q&A. We're not going to read out, oh, this person asked and then do the way we do our Q&As. We're just going to brush over topics that people have asked us about in a conversational style, rather than James is a question, I read a question. So I will start with something that's kind of been sitting with us for a wee while, because I didn't know what we're going to do with this. Somebody posted on the Art Tangent forums claiming a band were headlining, or playing or headlining. The assumption would be, because they're a pretty big band now, Art Tangent next year. Now, you and I know that's not the case. And I suppose, well, the internet's going to talk shite when the internet wants to talk shite, so that's not a deal, not much a big deal. But the problem with this one is because people don't tend to do that, whether they know the truth or don't know the truth, people don't tend to go on message boards and leak bands. And it's gained a wee bit of traction. So now people are talking about it like it's just an absolute truth. Like, obviously this is going to happen. And now you're seeing it knocking onto other forums where people are saying, oh, that band are playing. How is that sitting with you, the team? Has that had any reaction whatsoever? It's such an odd thing to come about.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking annoying. So just to clear it up, the band in question is Blood Incantation, and they are not playing Arctangent next year. I wouldn't lie about this. They're not playing Arctangent next year. It's pretty frustrating that, because they are one of the, if you were to get your page one out, they'd be on it, I think. We've been talking to them for a couple of years, and one day Blood Incantation will play Arctangent. I think they'd love to play Arctangent. We would fucking love to have them. There aren't many promoters that like them as much as I do. They're not playing next year, so it's annoying, because I feel like that in itself now there's someone here listening to this now that thought they were playing. Yeah. And they will now be massively disappointed. And whatever we give them, and I've got some absolute beauties up my sleeve this year for Arctangent, whatever we give you there'll be 10 or 100 people or 1,000 people that will be disappointed because it's not Blood Incantation. So
is it a danger to too, because we are quite a close-knit and trusting community. So when this kind of thing happens, the people buy into it, in the sense of literally buy into it, go and get their ticket. Now, what do you say to somebody that, because you can't be held responsible for what MD posts on the internet, but somebody then comes, she goes, oh, for fuck's sake, James, I bought my ticket because it said that Blood Incantation were playing on the Art Tangent forum, and then you would be like, well, I never said that, it wasn't officially, but then I suppose they could come back and say, oh, but why aren't you or your team getting in there and then manually dealing with every single time MD puts a rumour up, which is just not practical and not what any festival's going to do. It's just problematic.
It is problematic, although our tickets are not on sale, so that I'm going to guess that they weren't on sale at any point during this period. So it's more people's levels of excitement or disappointment that I'm worried about. And if you buy if you buy tickets based on random rumours on social media, then I'm not about to give you a fucking refund, to be honest. You need to have a little chat with yourself. But yeah, it's they're not playing. They're going to fucking play one year, and we'll all have a great time. But the lineup's going to be equally.
And how are things going with the lineup then? From what you can see, are you pretty chuffed?
Yeah. I mean, I said, sorry to go football again, but I said to my brother last night that I feel a bit like we confirmed a headliner this weekend for one of the festivals. I'm not going to tell you which festival. I'm trying to keep my cards a bit closer to my chest this year. And Rob, I text Rob and Si on Saturday saying this just come in, and Rob, I spoke to him this morning, and he was like, "You must be really excited." And I basically said to him, "I feel a bit like Alex Ferguson used to say, like he used to be like, you basically win the Champions League, or you'd win the league, and literally 15 minutes later, he's already like, fucking, let's go. Where are we going next? What are we doing? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And I don't mean to compare myself to Alex Ferguson. That's not what I'm doing. But what I mean is that
The thought process.
as soon as I get a fucking really exciting booking, I'm already thinking, what? It would be really nice if I had those two others alongside it. I just find it really hard to be excited. Even last year, coming out of the gates with 5 headliners at Trees, I feel like you're still thinking, is it strong enough in depth? Have I done this? Have I done that? Have I pleased all these people? So you never really, until maybe you stood on the main stage watching Kneecap, you never really stood around patting yourself on the back thinking, fuck yeah, I've nailed this.
Yeah.
So there's some great bookings so far this year across both festivals. More to come. No doubt the people will tell us what they think.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second. If it were, this is an interesting one. If it were, no, actually, somebody wanted to know about the promoting and their lives before promoting, and especially I think I'm interested in my route into journalism. And then I've got something I want to ask about Trees. So before promoting, James, how were you? What were you all about, son? We know a wee bit about accountancy, but what else was going on?
Well, I mean, I don't know if we've ever talked, because they asked about your route into journalism. It was very nice to hear that he wants to know about your route and not mine. But
yours is about the accountancy. It's hard to get too excited.
But like, I don't know. Honestly, genuinely, at this point in the podcast history, I have no idea what we fucking talked about. So, but I mean, I just wanted to go to university and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I didn't know what job I wanted to do. Never mind what course I wanted to do. So I randomly picked economics and accountancy. So I was like, my only connection to music at this point is that I would be the guy that was fucking obsessing over bands more than probably any of my friends, or certainly one of the most obsessive about music. Loved festivals, Reading in particular, Donington Monster Rock. But so I went into this economics and accountancy course without much thought. I had a fucking lovely time. I had the time at university that you're supposed to have at university. I had a great time. I got a 2-1, but I had a fucking great time. Went traveling for a year. It was a proper like fucking
American fucking jock story.
Yeah, fucking middle class fucking like I'm gonna fuck around
this
for
is
3
why
years.
they wanted to hear my version, James.
Yeah.
From nothing.
And when I came back, I had no plan. So, but I got panicky pretty quickly, and it's just like easy to just try and get a graduate training. It wasn't easy to get the job, but it was easy to just think, I'll just go and apply to all these graduate training schemes. Ended up working for basically the biggest accountancy firm in the world. They're like, I don't really ever talk about this, but they're massively sought after jobs, like incredibly competitive. My interview process was fucking bonkers, right? So you go in. I think this is the second interview, and you're there for a day, and you go in. You don't know what you're gonna have to do, and the first thing they say to you is they give you a fucking piece of paper, and it's like you're on your own in a room. You're going to design a new fizzy drinks brand, and they give you some parameters around it, and they say you've got 50 minutes, and then you come back and you're going to present to us, and you've got to talk for, I don't know, half an hour. Or we'll give you some pens and a whiteboard, and you've got to talk to us for 30 minutes about this new fizzy drinks brand. And that's that is a mad thing to do. You're like 21, fucking terrifying. And then after that, the same guy who's just watched you present this, he then interviews you. I got massively caught out because I lied on my application form. They asked on the application form, tell us about a time when you used your initiative. And I genuinely, as the 21, 22-year-old me, I'd never used their initiative. So I made up this story about being in Cambodia and getting stuck in a flood. And it was is entirely made up. And I was on my own, I had no money, and I was knocking on doors, and I really used my initiative just to not end up sleeping rough in the flood.
You couldn't have made that a rural bit of Wales.
And then
why Cambodia?
Because I'd just come back from traveling, and I was a wanker. Anyway, he asked me about it in the interview. So it's easy to lie when you're writing it down. It's actually really difficult to lie.
I wouldn't know.
But I got the job. So wasn't intending to tell you that story. So I never really liked the job. About 3 weeks in, I kind of knew it wasn't for me, but I had really great fun. Like 200 people started on the same day as me in London. 200 graduates started on the same day as me. So it was like fucking first day of school, first day of uni. Everyone's green and running around having a big party. So yeah, that was my I feel weird. This is weirder than talking about football, talking about this. But it's weird talking about being I was an auditor, so I wasn't an accountant. So in those days, I did something called external audit, checking people's books, basically. And then I went on, say again?
Even a grass.
yeah. People, they fucking hate you. And then I went on to be an intern auditor where, for this big asset management company. Easy job, well paid. But again, I was massively fucking unfulfilled and restless. So yeah, I am a trained accountant, but I have never really worked as one. I was an auditor. So there you go. That feels weird. Even that whole thing. Are we just going to delete this whole podcast when it's...
Possibly. We'll have to put something out, so this will be it. But that led you to... Was your first show you ever promoted 2000 Trees?
Yeah. So while I was an internal auditor, after I'd done my training, 3 years training and whatever, then I got another job. And during that time, particularly Simon, me and him used to chat about how there must be something fucking more to life than this.
And what did Simon do if it's no too personal?
He was a pharmaceutical sales rep, so he was selling. He was going around like GPs and hospitals selling them drugs.
Fucking hell, you have got the full American story used to guys, don't you? Fucking gap years Cambodia and fucking medical reps. Jesus Christ, guys, I we need to rethink the basis of our moral dilemma with fucking 2000 Trees. I've been whitewashing fucking...
He wasn't working for... I'm not... We'll have Simon on one day and he can defend himself, but he wasn't working for like GlaxoSmithKline or whatever. He's working for a small, presumably nice, cuddly, friendly pharmaceutical company. Sure. But yeah, I don't even know what you're asking me now.
So your first ever gig you put on was...
So I mean... This is something that I've talked about loads, but I don't think anyone ever fully grasps that I had never even touched the music industry other than being at a gig or at a festival or like going backstage and like, I don't mean going backstage, I mean standing outside the stage door and trying to talk to fucking Ginger Wildheart or Pom Morello. I had nothing. I didn't know what anyone did in the music industry. And yeah, we had a mate, Ralph, who ran Why Not Festival, and I think that was a big inspiration for us. And the small festival scene was starting to explode, like Truck Festival and Why Not, and all of those, and it seemed like achievable. It seemed like something you could actually do. And we're like, fuck me, we're all fucking trained. Like we had some serious fucking people. Like Brendan was like a lawyer and I was an accountant, and Simon could sell drugs, which helps at festivals.
Simon was a professional drug dealer.
And Andy was a journalist. I mean, no one knows what Mark does. He hates it when I say that, but fuck knows what Mark does.
Chandler Bing
earns a lot of money.
One of those jobs where he's got a good salary and no one's got a fucking idea how he got it.
Yeah, exactly. And my brother's a furniture designer, so there's a great combination of people to like be able to do something. But Are we qualified to run a festival? Absolutely not. In 2007, fuck no. So talk to me about your route into journalism.
Yeah, but you see that everything that you didn't do, that's the route that I was. I'll be surprised no one. There was no gap year travelling the world for me. There was no 2-1 at university, whatever the fuck 2-1 at university means. I was, mate.
You're allowed to criticise me for fucking having a gap year. You can't criticise me for doing well at uni. Did you do that to your kids?
I'm just no credit. I'm just saying that's never happened. I never done that. So I went to, both my schools have now been bulldozed to both total shitholes. And I don't even know where journalism came from. I mean, I was always quite, I wasn't academic at school at all, but I was always quite quick. And I suppose I had a decent grasp of language. And I honestly feel like, I don't know if this is a story like your Cambodia one that I've made up in my head somewhere, that I just tell myself that I was in this, so pick a career, and my dad was a joiner, and then flip beside it was journalist, and I just dreamt that. I don't know why I've came up with this fucking idea, but somewhere at the age of 13 or 14, I thought journalist, and it was funny because I was absolutely laughed at. I mean, my English teacher, when I told her, she did genuinely laugh at me. She took me out of class and said, "Don't be fucking stupid. That it's never going to happen for you. You will not be a journalist." Which is reassuring for your fucking 4th year English teacher, but she was a cunt, and I was right and she was wrong. So that happened to me quite a lot, actually. I got into, so I never got the results I needed to get into the college of practical journalism course that I wanted. So I went up and I fought it. I thought, like I told them that I wanted, they said, no, you can go into PR and marketing, you can't go into practical journalism. And I was like, fuck PR and marketing, that sounds like bullshit. Which turns out was fucking right. I want to go into practical journalism, and they says, right, go downstairs to the library just now, you've got an hour, and write is this. Right, is a press story from whatever but fucking the curriculum they had, and I went downstairs and I gave it a bash, and they kicked one of the people that I knew, pure coincidentally, one of the people I knew that was getting into the practical journalism course. They managed to talk that fucking spineless twat into get into the PR and marketing course, which again, fucking, they'd never cut it in journalism anyway, I don't suppose. So he get punted into that one, and I was only 16 at the time, so I was 16 when I went into that course, and I was like fucking, I was just a Ned, just a wee fucking Pollock Ned, and you don't get through the first year, even at college, never mind university. You don't cram, you can't cram shorthand, you can't learn 100 words a minute shorthand by saying 2 weeks before the exam I'm going to start studying. Or law, you don't get Scots law for journalists crammed in 2 weeks. And I failed those two parts of it, the journalism, the law and the shorthand. So I had to reset. So I basically done the year one again, having passed 8 out of 10 of the modules, and I had to get up to. So I used that, but to mature a wee bit. This time I'd have been 17, and also added modules to it that I could do, like radio journalism and a bit of sub-editing and just bits and bobs like that. So that was fine. And then I got a job down at Dumfries and Galloway, like basically where Kelly's from. I made there 5 years down there. I mean, paid fucking nothing. I mean, nothing. My first salary was 9,800. I left Glasgow, went down to some place called Dumfries and Galloway for less than 10 grand a year, and trained up that, came back up the road to the paper I went to, and then I just worked my way up through that as sort of senior reporter, chief reporter, and then I jumped from chief reporter to editor, because when I told the story before, the deputy editor didn't want it when I was considering going. So it was a fucking great career. I loved it, and journalism's it's not a case of how clever can you be about it. It's like you get a bit of humanity about you. Can you go to someone's door who's just lost a child and not make a cunt of it, basically? I mean, have a bit of fucking compassion about you and a bit of decency at the same time as a professional to be able to carry it through and do the story justice. So I loved it, absolutely loved it all the way up until the pandemic hit, and then it went from the best job in the world to the worst job. And then that whole time I was doing that, Damnation clearly went, because I got into journalism, got my first job in journalism at 19, started Damnation at 23. So that whole path they were interlinked, both of them. In 2008 was the first time I thought, well, there's actually a salary in this. I could think about doing this full time and move away from journalism. Thankfully I never, because I lost money in 2009, so that would have been a short career. But Aye, it was a pandemic more than anything else that got, and then damnation getting to the size it's got now. I mean, sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did I even, like, that was only 3 years ago. How the fuck did I do that and organise damnation? Because sometimes I feel like I'm chasing my tail with damnation. Never mind for 40, 45 hours a week, putting out 6 editions of paper that you're responsible cover to cover to, and your arse is going to get slung in jail if you fuck it up. So, aye, it was a lot, and I loved it until I didn't love it, which brings me to the sort of next point of that. In a different timeline, if COVID kills our festivals and they don't come back the way that they did come back, what the fuck would you do with yourself?
Well, I mean, I burnt my bridges with accountancy. Like, so you have to, you have to be. It's basically like a 3-year training, and then you have to pay every year to be part of the institute. And if you don't pay after year 1, there's certain things you have to do to get back in. And basically at this point, they're not letting me back in without redoing all the exams in a million years. So I kind of, I intentionally let that lapse. Yeah. I didn't want to fucking ever be, I didn't want someone to ever say to me, you need to go, like a partner or like a mother of my child, to be able to say, you could earn more money and our lives would be better if you were an accountant. I feel like I could see that might be a thing, and I was just like, I'm not fucking ever going back. Makes you miserable. So I don't know. I feel like the music industry would be the place that I would try to make money in, like management or label stuff. And I feel like I've got loads of transferable skills that I could use elsewhere in the music industry. I'm like super passionate about it, and that'll be what I would try to do. But fuck me, if you took live music away now, I'd be in serious fucking trouble. The only thing that I do that isn't live music related is 2 promoters, 1 pod, which I'm pretty sure is fucking pretty much based on live music. So I'd be fucked. But that would be, I haven't got like some like, oh, I really like to be a carpenter and joiner, or I really fancy being a vet. I like, basically, I'd fucking not going back to accountancy, and I can't imagine doing anything other than working in the music industry. So that's it for me. How about you?
I mean, you've got the path is there. I mean, I could no doubt get. I mean, I never burnt any bridges. In fact, I left journalism in amazing terms. The sort of editor-in-chief for Scotland, and the company that I worked for is the Daily Mirror, the Daily Record, the Daily, like, so Reach PLC was the company. So I could get a job back quite quickly if I don't know what current state. But journalism's such a fucking mess now. I mean, people don't have a fucking clue about journalism. What he gets is a whole sort of like, Millie Dowler's phone getting fucking hacked and Justice for the 96, and it's like that just skews everything of all levels of journalism. Even the titles had nothing to do with that, and an era had nothing to do with that. But I mean, what has happened is that sort of Donald Trump's first term and that fake news, and then that aligned with the social media and the traction you were getting for just putting stuff out with any facts whatsoever, but which was gaining you more clicks and more advertising buys than the facts. So I was going, we're getting a situation where I'd have a reporter in court for 2 weeks covering a rape trial or a murder trial, and somebody typing in Paisley's top 10 cat cafes was getting more traction online, or Grand Falls and skateboard. Even this is before the AI, but this kind of stuff, did she follow the skateboard, or was it just lying beside the skateboarder? Is that even Paisley? I mean, it's like, it made no difference, because click, shared 1,000 times. You get any, we even saw it ourselves. We never went for any of the bullshit, but we would get stuff like restaurant certificates, like food hygiene things, which would just be part of running the mill of the journalism we do, would be the ones that would do 2 million hits, and you'd have this fucking exclusive murder case that had been going on for 30 years, a cold case, and doing 100,000 hits, and it just got, once the money was in that direction, talking live bullshitting, then everybody just went in that direction with it, and the old journalists that tried their best to keep it in any way sort of like an informed journalism, or tried to, like, they just died off and get shifted out and get replaced with cheap. I mean, we became content creators. We went away from fucking nice people sitting down with that Scots law for journalism and that, and we get people who knew how to put up TikToks and do videos. So I don't even know if I could. Like, if it would just, I'd draw up a career that I really did, but I'd feel the way you did in the accountancy, that it would just ripped the soul at me. So, I mean, I don't know, Kelly's got quite a successful salon. She could probably do with a dog's body that went in there. And I mean, I don't want to start saying I'd be the guy dealing with the numbers, but I'm sure if I put my mind to it, we could get the VAT sorted. So, there's a bit of that. I mean, I suppose I am pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't sell I don't want to sell myself for PR and marketing, but I am okay at it. And I could help out with stuff like that. But I mean, fuck me, James. It's like we've got the jobs we want. I mean, I did it, close it down. Even at COVID, if I just went for a few, how long can you sustain it? I mean, your fundraisers and keep things going. COVID's no 2 years, it's 4 years. I mean, it's like, how do you come out the other side of that? Like, look at all the people in the music industry we lost, all the techs, all the sound engineers, lighting engineers, the fucking tour managers, who just get reliable jobs, who are paying a wage, who were like, I just don't have the heart to go back to it and try to start it all again with all my relationships. It was a real fucking knife in the side of the industry for that 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing to think about. If it had gone on for 4 years, I mean, yeah, at what point can anyone survive that? And
you need fucking jump in a van and do deliveries for something, don't you? You need to be like, you need to get yourself down to Tesco. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not, because I don't have any pride about it. Like, I'll do any job that makes a living. I don't feel I'm too good for anything, but I'm not going to enjoy it. I enjoy doing damnation. I mean, I love it, and I did love journalism. I've been lucky to do jobs that I did really like, but at some point you need to go, I mean, for nothing else, you need fucking mental health, because you can't just be, I mean, that was a tough couple of years fucking dancing in front of your TV to Joe Wicks.
Yeah, it's not. No, I was never doing that. I definitely never did that. But yeah.
Aye, well, this will be old news by the time that people listen to this, but you'll remember back in the old days, there was a power outage, and like the Ring doorbells and Amazon Prime and everything. So 10 days ago, as you're listening to this, there was a power outage.
Mate, they're not listening 10 days. 10 days later, they're hiding from fucking robots. This is the start of it. This is what we've all been worrying about.
The first thing AI went after was the two promoters, one pod recording. So, you might have noticed me and James went for a pee break and it turned into his own palaver. So much so I even had a costume change. I was like, I don't know if you didn't even notice, did you? You didn't even notice.
Good t-shirt though. What band is that?
That's the Damnation one.
Nice. Good t-shirt.
Nice. That is nice. It's exact. I was the same t-shirt I was wearing like 30 seconds ago in your mind, but it was black. So, James, one day, well, to be fair, you've never watched a YouTube episode anyway, have you? So it makes no fucking difference. It didn't occur to you that you wore the same hat for like 6 weeks in the bounce, did it?
Well, you and Begley started bullying me, so I started changing them up.
All right, okay, good. And then I fuck knows what's going on with your audio now. It sounds like you're getting louder. Right, anyway, let's try and not make this total chaos for the last 20 minutes. We've got this far. We've got deep and personal. It's all been a wee bit emotional, okay? We're going to make this happen.
And now the next section is you upsetting a big chunk of the press world, right?
Oh, not really. Like, okay, so when we're talking about the whole press thing, do you know why? It's not that I don't like it does, but it hits a personal nerve, okay? So someone said, it'd be good to know about what your feeling is for your festivals, is the people who own and organise your festivals, the importance of previews, the importance of reviews, the importance of live photography, and what people could do better or worse, whatever. I mean, some people, like, maybe are not in a position to say what people could do better or worse, but I am, because that's the industry that I come from. And I care deeply about photography, which is ironic because it's the one thing I've never done at all. I've done everything in journalism except photography. So, but I think that it's important to see photography. What I would suggest to photographers is the world's most boring picture is the close-up of the singer or the bass player. And the good photography, the ones that really stick out, or something that captures a bit of the essence of the show, more of the stage or the crowd or the field. It's in all my favourite Damnation pictures, the nailed one, the enslaved one. It's all away from the stage, getting and capturing a wee bit of the essence of Damnation in it. The crowd and the atmosphere for what you can get in a picture. They're always my favourite. Even the M Coaters one I dragged into sunlight, they took from on stage across the the band is all playing into the strobe lights. They kind of shots are just so much more interesting than a close-up, one more close-up of Marilyn Manson. It's been done 10 billion times. I mean, it's like, it's difficult to make that photography look any more interesting. I really do prefer the preview stuff. It's important in terms of trying to sell tickets. I don't think there's a great deal of original preview material goes out there, especially for Damnation. Some smaller outlets do give it a wee bash, but most people want it gift wrapped in their inbox and just repost what I write. The review stuff is nice for the bands. It's like, it's so little of the reviews, live reviews you read mention or say anything about the event, whether it's Download, Bloodstock, Art Tangent. You get a wee bit like, oh, this was nice atmosphere, whatever, but live reviews tend 90% of the time maybe about Callous Cowboys were on stage. Callous Cowboys were excellent. They were followed by Holy Fawn. Holy Fawn were excellent. And a lot of them don't really get into what made Dunk Festival different from Hellfest Festival or Download Festival different from 2000 Trees Festival. And I would be much more interested if I was reading about 2000 Trees. What makes it special? Well, tell me about the forest stage. Tell me a bit about why the themes of the tents or whatever. Tell me about, like, I mean, just another review about a Holding Absence or the Boston Manor. I'd be like,
do you not think that that's part of the same thing you were saying earlier on about journalism, in that it's the short attention span doesn't lend itself to like going deep into, like, there are some great pieces have been written over the years about trees in ATG. Renfrey wrote a great one about ATG.
Is it stuff like The Guardian? The stuff that you get in something like The Guardian, where someone who's been a paid journalist who's got a bit of experience and went and done it properly?
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, see, I don't think me and you come at this from the same angle. And whenever you go on one of your fucking I hate music journalist rants, I get people messaging me going, because we always use it as the Instagram reel, and then people are messaging me being like, what the fuck? What's Gav's? But my thing is, like, I agree. So if Kerrang or Metal Hammer, and those are the two that I want to review my festivals, if one of them reviews it, it's always like a short introduction, really, which you get about the festival. But the things they say in that short introduction are on our posters for years to come and on our website for years to come. You know, about it's the short little fucking quotable elements of it, which is important to us, I think.
And they're very well done as well. Like, we're right, especially Kerrang and Metal Hammer. See, when the writing goes in and it's done well. Like, even the one-line band reviews, whatever, they're done well. It's just, it's strange too, because I think when the smaller, like the more amateur publications, the fanzines, the volunteers, they go to the other, because what you don't want, because I think when this question was posed, like, when should you get the review? I mean, ideally, you should have the review that night. Like, when I would write it for virtual festivals or for the Metro or for the Daily Record, whatever, you would submit the Team the Park day that night. You would be writing it through the day and you would submit it before. I would be in the press tent until 12:30, 1 o'clock, finishing off the last bit of the headline band, and I'd hit send and it would go. And I get it, not everyone has got the ability to just, especially if you are a volunteer and your day job's something else, not everyone's got the ability to just knock that out in the same night. However, the very latest it should be is next day. I mean, see this idea of a review coming 3 weeks later. By that point, the world has moved on. I fucking forgot that festival even exists. I mean, I don't even want to read Damnation reviews that come out a month after Damnation, and it's my fucking festival. There is no excuse for anyone putting out reviews 2 weeks after the event's happened. Just none at all. So, aye, get them out as fast as you can. Ideally that night, if you want them to be as relevant as possibly can, because that's when people are thinking about it. The next day, I suppose, is acceptable. After that, I don't think it's relevant. And keep them short. The amateur ones with this one, they've got such limited space in the magazine that the bands are getting like one line at a time, and used to be with however many Ks. Sometimes I go in and I click through to some of the fanzine ones, and it's like 1,000 words on a local gig. Like, no one wants to read that. There's not enough interesting to say at a local gig for 1,000 words. A good gig review can be done in 250, 300 words, and you can nail it, and you can make it interesting and punchy, and say, I mean, I just want to scream at sometimes, like, don't tell us that the band levelled the place, and don't tell us that the band destroyed that. Like, tell us something that actually happened and something that we don't expect. Oh, and then they played this row of songs that I've played forever for the last 10 years. Tell us about an interaction that happened in the crowd that night that we don't know about. Tell us about something that happened in that venue that we wouldn't know unless we were reading your piece. It's so many people. And then the crowd roared, and then a mosh pit opened, and then somebody crowd surfed, and then they played this hit. They were always going to play like, fuck it. I mean, I could have written most of this review without going there. So, James, you've actually got me started.
I mean, so any journalist listening, they're on their way to damnation in 3 weeks' time. This is it. Either take this as some motivation or a real.
Here's another Be My Bonnet that I've got with the music that has been battered so into submission by labels, managers, PR, and they've used that control to have a situation where almost everything you read, word by word by word, is positive. If everything you read is positive, if every album review, every gig review is positive, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing, because it's so watered down that all you're going to get is that you need to be negative sometimes. Sometimes bands have a shit show. You might not even feel that good about having it, but that's the whole fucking job. If you're going to take it on, you need to be honest with this stuff. You need to go and say, I mean, I get absolutely fucking destroyed when I gave Disturbed 1 out of 10 for a download. But his mic wasn't working. I mean, this wasn't even anything to tell him being a mad fucking signing bombs knob. This was like, his mic wasn't working, and they were pretty fucking poor in a pretty poor download lineup, and that's just the truth. And it was like, oh, who's this fucking poser? I think he is. He fucking when they know the first thing about metal, and I was like 3 years into organising damnation at the time, booking bands like Go Rotted. So sometimes you just take this. You're going to get criticised when I slagged off Guns N' Roses for being terrible at Leeds one year. I get abused for it because Guns N' Roses fans are like, doesn't matter what, if Axl can show up 40 minutes late and mime if he wants, it's still a great show. And I was like, I disagree, and I'm the one writing the piece, so suck it up. And that's it.
I think I've been thinking for a while that we should get a music journalist on. And not because of this, but I think now it's even more important that someone comes and we slagged off agents for months. Then Tom Taft came on and gave the other side. I think we should get someone, like Nick from Kerrang. They're a
difficult spot, because I know for a fact that what happens is they do get access to artists, and that gets restricted if you write stuff that those labels, managers and those companies don't want you to write. I know that happens, and you get, that's just not how fucking, if I slag off Please Scotland, or I not in an opinion piece, but I'd write a story that was damaging to Police Scotland. Police Scotland don't get to tell me, oh, by the way, you don't get it at the next press conference. It's just, that's not how journalism works. It's this kind of shit that's going on in America just now, at the Pentagon. So I can see why they're trying to make a living out of it. They want to get access to the artists. And slowly but surely, as the journalism being battered out of everyone, including the actual press, it's not like it was 30 years ago when you had your Ian Winwoods, like, just absolutely rinsing a Marilyn Manson or whoever, if it was just his honest opinion of an album. And then what you get is like that whole Simon Cowell effect. Oh, everybody's shiting whatever TV show, and then when he says somebody's great, it's the big pop. Everybody wants Simon Cowell to support you. It's that whole thing. There needs to be a wee bit of honest negativity before.
Yeah, but that's tricky, I think. In the rock and metal world, I think that's tricky, because I make a point of it on here and in press interviews to never slag off small bands. There's basically some sort of ceiling where I won't tell you if I don't like a certain band, and because I don't want to do that. I just don't think that's productive for anyone.
I'm with you with that. I am 100%, but that's not the job we're doing here. We're not here to give you, and like, if this was your weekly digest of albums, we would have to be honest. No,
but all I'm saying is, but if I was the journalist working for Metal Hammer, I would feel that is it's quite a tough spot to be in. I think that. Now, obviously, some journalists wouldn't give two fucks about that.
It's not about giving, because you're like, oh, and it's not about that though. It's about like, But have some integrity for what you're doing yourself as a fucking journalist. Like, you put yourself in that position that you're going to use your talents to describe to people how you feel about a piece of whether it's a fucking bit of art, an album, a live show, and then what? Then you're going to dilute your talents and your integrity by pretending it wasn't what it was. I mean, that's no fair in you, never mind no fair in the band. Or no fair, and also, again, it comes back down to it, once people... That's the problem. There isn't a lot of folk out there where we don't have influencers really in our scene. I even took a couple of years ago. It's like, what's the new way to get like Damnation to reach a new or younger audience? I've tried to look for who are the influencers in this scene where you could be like, there's really none. There's really, maybe in a sort of 2003 style, you might get people 100,000 followers, but in the metal scene, there's no one that's really got any, when this guy stands up and he says that band's great, I go and follow. There'll be wee niche ones, people on record labels, people that are but there's no one that you're about like, that's our go-to for, because I don't think there's anyone doing that role where you can be like, I can trust what he says or she says. I feel like I'm on board with the way they think about music. And I mean, I know this always comes across like I'm having a bigger go than I mean to, because at the same time, I'm here the one singing the praises of Razor's Edge. I'm the one singing the praises of Rockflesh and other city fans out there. They're doing everything they can with volunteers. Krang and Metal Hammer always cover Damnation, and they always give us good, I'm talking like good space in their magazines. Always welcome, send your teams. I'm not slagging these people off. I just feel like it could be done. I mean, if you come to Damnation and you say, you know what, I watched that band and I thought they were dog shit, I fucking promise you, I'm not going to be on the phone to you saying, even if I disagree, I'm not going to be on the phone going, how could you fucking say that? But you need to lie. You need to say something that happened to Damnation that didn't happen. Before I would be a bit like, no, that's just not on. But if you come in and you go, I just don't like that headline set and I didn't think the same way you felt, fair play. That's not me asking you to come and slag my festival off, though.
I mean, you got to let someone I think you got to let somebody come on and fucking give you some shit
but
back.
They can. I just don't know who's in a position to be able to do that. I just don't know who's got enough freedom to come on. I mean,
Well,
even
the freedom is the hard part.
It's the freedom's the hard bit to come on and be like, you know what? I would do this, but this band fucked me over, and I gave this. I tried to get this thing. I'm using Krang as an example, 2Ks, but then the powers that be said, let's make it 4Ks because we want to keep our relationship. I'm using him as an example because Ks. I don't even think they do the Ks anymore.
But maybe the people then is like Ian Winwood you just mentioned, like an older journalist who's been around the block. Phil Alexander from Kerrang, fucking.
He would be like Ian Wood. Did you read his book? I mean, Ian Wood was a guy when I was 19, 20, and I was reading. Ian Winwood was a guy when I was like, fucking hell. Like, when he tells you an album's good, you take notice, because he's no trying to win any fans. He's just like telling you things as it is. And I'm sure the current Kerrang, our friends like Nick Ruskell and Sam Lawrie would be like, no, Ian Winwood was a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, easy one. Right, let's do that. Done.
Okay, let's do that. What we do? Are we wrapping this up? What have we got still to say?
No. Well, I mean, you tell me. Fuck knows.
Right, okay, well, the last bit was the current state of the live music scene. For every sold out stadium, everything that looks like, oh my God, there's Bloodstock again, sold out our weekend tickets. You fucking system it down, try to do 2 nights at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's like, oh my God, everything's so great. All we need to do now is put tickets on sale and everything's going to sell out. But then the side that people don't often see as not as well publicised is the local shows that are doing nothing. I mean, that UK Slam Fest, like this slam death metal, like more extreme version of death metal. That guy who runs that, Joe McGregor, who's just like the beating heart of that scene in Manchester and Liverpool, I believe. Like, he's just, enough's enough. It's just the financial struggles, the strains there, just all the things that we've talked about, for everything getting more and more difficult to get bands in, bands still wanting pretty ridiculous fees. He's just like, I just can't maintain it. I can't maintain it. And you can go and people go, oh, look how cheap it is. You can go to this for people. This is another thing with fans. They think that sometimes just the cheaper it is, it just always makes it more, I know it's going to be, but successful. There's a lot of free entry all days There's a lot of free entry stuff that people don't go to. You could say, you put 4 metal bands on a bill and say it's free to get through the door and still have 15 people there. So it's not always about that either, just like, just make things... So you're stuck with this continuous contrast of seeing the struggles of some of the shows we see, some of the promoters we know, and then at the same time going, fucking System of a Down are now a band that does 2 nights at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Deftones sold at the Hydro in 1 day before they even released a new record. Corn are now above arenas. They're playing Finsbury Park and Halifax Peace Hall and just this crazy shit that 10 years ago these bands that were playing academies have not really done anything different and now in stadiums. So it's I suppose the person who asked this was like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, what do I feel about the state of the scene? I mean, it depends if you're talking about, I don't know, it's a broad thing. But in terms of commerciality, I think the rock and metal scene's it's in quite rude health. There was a period where everyone was like, rock is dead. And you were like, fuck, I hope rock's not fucking dead because I'm fucked if it is. And there was a bit of that. It doesn't feel like that anymore, right? So the old bands are getting bigger and there's lots of new bands selling lots of tickets. And I don't feel negative about it. Like, are there empty shows? Yes. Are there empty festivals? Yes. But the UK supports more high quality, decent capacity festivals now than it has arguably independence. Rock, I'm talking about rock, ever, right? All those ones, Damnation, Trees, ATG, Outbreak, Bloodstock, Slam Dunk, fucking... Radar. There's like, there's like fucking loads of them. So, and all of those festivals are, big capacities, lots of people going to them. So I feel like it's not some big negative thing. And on top of that, there's all these loads of outdoor shows, not just Metallica, System of a Down shows. There are the likes of the Outbreak outdoor show that they did last year. There's lots of sort of medium-sized outdoor shows going on. So look, it's not fucking 1991, right? So we're not the biggest, rock and metal is not the biggest thing in the world. It probably never is going to be again. But I don't really subscribe to this, this thing that it's struggling. I think every so often, there's been a few high-profile bands in arenas recently. It doesn't feel like they're... I got mixed reports on Parkway Drive, for instance. Everyone says it was the best fucking live show ever. Was it full? I don't know. Arenas are weird because often you do end up with empty seats because no one wants to sit and watch Slayer in an arena. You want to be in the fucking pit. So I think there's a bit of that. I mean, to be honest, just to give the listeners some insight into this this podcast, the third episode in 7 days. I prepped this episode earlier on, and then you changed it about 3 hours ago, and I looked at it 20 minutes ago. So this question, which I would like to have gone and done a bit more research on, I am answering off the top of my head, but the question is, what is the state of the rock and metal industry? And I'm basically saying, I think we're all fucking good. I think tickets are strong.
I'm fairly positive. But as it's that mixed bag of, I'd love to be strapped to the rocket ship alongside System of a Down and Corn, but then at the same time, I'm also not organising an event. We don't organise an event now with turnovers. Twice what it's ever been. So it's hard to sit here and be anything but positive about the live music scene. But I'm trying not to do it just through my own tunnel vision or my own self-interest. I did see it was like a reel or something like the other day. They said there hasn't been a #1 in the UK charts by a band, an actual band, for more than a decade, which I thought was just unbelievable.
But I just don't think anyone... I don't know how, in the old days, you had to go to fucking R Price and buy a single, right? And I don't even know how that, it's just streaming, isn't it? So I don't think anyone gives a fuck about, I don't think rock bands give a fuck about Like, get people to your shows and get them listening to your albums is the most important thing. I don't know. I feel like there's probably some people listening here thinking these guys really don't know. And I actually don't know about...
I think there's a lot of people listening thinking that.
I don't feel negative about the state of rock and metal. I have in the past. I thought we were fucked and we're not. I don't feel like that now. So that is just,
maybe you're just
my
a
vibe.
holiday buzz. You're like, mate, it's all fucking brilliant. Let's go. I'm away to lie the side of a pool and listening to lots of rock and metal. It's all good. But no, and seriously, I mean, just that whole snapshot. I mean, it's such an all-encompassing question, I suppose. But just this now, the current state, I mean, it's fucking feels pretty healthy. It feels, I mean, if we're getting 6,000 people to come and see Pig Destroyer in a fucking arena, it feels pretty healthy. You know what I mean? It's probably not I want to sit and complain about, right, okay, let's wrap up. Let's get a wee shout out for the eyesore merch and you can tell me all about your pick of the week, son. Eyesore merch. By the time you listen to this, it'll be a week and a bit until Damnation, so probably just enough time to get yourself some new threads if you want to show up looking crisp. They have the Relapse store on Eyesore merch. They have Bongzilla, Brutal Truth, Dying Fetus, Full of Hell, Gatekeeper, Mastodon. You want to get yourself a nice new t-shirt, long sleeve, hoodie. You don't have to pay the European prices to get in for Evil Greed or Holy Mountain for the US. This is the place to go. He now has, when I say he, is Ali, the Ali's guy that we do with Eyesore. They have this stuff available for fans of that kind of music, Damnation fans. Go and grab yourself some shirts from there. If that's not your bag, they have everything else too. If fucking Lewis Capaldi, tight style superstars, Ed Sheeran, all that kind of jazz, they have the big, they have the stadium fillers in there too. Eyesore merch, pod 10 at checkout, get yourself 10% off. Grab yourself something before Damnation, because you will not get anything at Damnation or any other festival for the same price as you can get it shipped to you from Eyesore merch.
Lovely stuff. Shall we on the record it?
On the record, I'll choose a Patreon. Like, I've just got a backlog building now with Patreon because we're doing these quicker than the episodes are coming out. So there's somebody actually been picked for Patreon. That's not even been read out yet.
Know.
They don't even know yet. Never mind the person that did get for the last time that I've not heard for yet either. So let's see who have we got on the way. Let's go. Richard Swindles. I don't recognise that name, so I hope Rich Swindles, you haven't been picked before, and get in touch. Do not be coming at me 3-4 E's at the same time and asking for a Damnation related thing. Definitely at least half E's. Level James with some fucking goodies that you want, alright?
If you ask me for something that happens at Damnation, and I'm in.
Aye, well, I suppose you'll still have a bit of time. Everyone who's going to ask for something from James at Damnation, do that. That's the best way to do it.
Okay, done.
On the record, sir, talk me. Tell me what's happening.
So, as I've said recently, I'm deep in Damnation mode now. So, properly fucking going in on everything. And Perturbator are not a band that I have ever really... I think they're good. Really, obviously, fucking brilliant live. Never really gone in on an album, and I've just gone in on this one, and I think it's fucking great. I feel weird talking about it because often when I talk about music, I feel like it's right in my wheelhouse. I feel very comfortable. If you tell me it's shit, I know that I'm right and you're wrong, and I can talk about it. Whereas this, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. I can't talk about electronic music with any authority. But this, the song I'm going to put on is Apocalypse Now. It's the first song on the album. It's like a slow burn fucking banger. It's like really like, it's not like fucking synthwave bang, bang, bang. Comes very slowly. It's got a really insidious fucking little hook that comes in your head. And it's just catchy as fuck. I can't get enough of it. I keep putting this song on and on. It's like, I mean... This album, and probably all of Perturbator's stuff, I guess, it makes you think you're in like some dark, dingy club in the 80s, right? But this really makes me feel like I'm in... I've never been... I mean, I'm too young to have been in a dark, dingy club in the 80s, but I imagine if I was, Perturbator would be playing fucking Apocalypse Now. I realise I am much like, because I spend a lot of time at Damnation chatting shit to my mates and half watching sets while also chatting shit and whatever, this and that, and running around and having a lovely time. But like I said about Corrosion of Conformity the other day, same with Perturbator. I'm going to go down the front and fucking experience it because I think it's going to be fucking great.
I mean, the setting for it, I mean, you talk about some dingy raves that happened in the 80s. Most of them happened at Bowls Exhibition Centre. I mean, the space might be bigger, but believe me, a lot of shit went on. And that place has got a reputation for some questionable raves. So I maybe bring it full circle with Perturbator at Damnation. That is going to be... Aye, it's going to be a party. I know she marked Ulver beside it. What's that? Is it a collab billboard?
Yeah, well, so there are some collab songs, and this is with Ulver. I don't know how that works, who did what, who wrote what, who played what, but yeah.
Aye. I mean, fucking, I'm well excited. It's just that it's not palate cleanser, because palate cleanser's a bit like, I don't know, a fruit sorbet between your dinners. This is like another steak, but just a different fucking taste altogether. It's going to be...
I'm looking forward to seeing the production as well.
Aye, I mean,
I've seen the rider.
I've heard about the rider, but I haven't seen it. I don't know. I just know they needed a huge amount of clearance and all sorts of stuff getting stacked aside the stage. And I'm like, Marios, just show me. Just show me.
Can you make this happen? Yes.
Well, see, one of those ones, there's nothing I can do to add to the conversation, so just keep me, tell me yes or no, or what needs to be paid to make it happen. I suppose that's my level 1 involvement. So definitely looking forward to that. I am going with another catchy, I mean, you see that insidious little hook. I mean, that's a fucking perfect description for my band, Crippling Alcoholism. I'm partially obsessed with this fucking band, to be honest. It's just, there's something so fucking horrific at the same time as, I mean, how can you have such a wee fun ditty? You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's go, I mean, let's just party. At the same time, he's talking about fucking suicide and hating himself and death and murder and destruction. It's just, the two things are just such a juxtaposition that it's just infectious, because you're still listening to it, and they're like, the track I'm picking, Saran Wrapped Cash, I had to go and look the lyrics up properly today because I thought I was singing it. He said, act like no God is watching. I can't see through your eyes because minds are filled with hate. He's singing that, right? He's singing that as he's like a religious sort of like kumbaya word, and he like whispering into your ear that everything's going to be fine and let's go down and we'll pick some flowers together and have sweeties. And he's fucking on with fucking, it's just, you know, is it in Bedrock? He's got a track and he goes, I hate the way I look. Yeah, I look like a fat fucking scumbag. But he sings it like it's almost like a disco hook. I mean, he's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. And it's fucking infectious. I love it. I absolutely love it. They sound like no one. I'd never said, oh, no, it should. It sounds like, sometimes they start a track, it sounds like a 70s disco theme for Stranger Things. But the lyrics of pure self-loathing and horror. It's just, I'm all in. My only criticism of both the records, of the two big ones that have been in the last years, is they go on for a long time. Like, they probably don't need to be over an hour plus each record, but they're fucking incredible. If it was anyone else but Crippling Alcoholism, I would not be trying to force myself out on the Tuesday night before I start heading down for Damnation. But just the idea, when I listen to that guy's lyrics and how he writes and how he talks about himself, I don't know if that's a band that are going to be about for a long time. I don't know if they can stop himself from imploding somewhere, or he will stop himself from imploding somewhere down the line. And if I got to Damnation, I missed him for any reason, and I told I never got to see Crippling Alcoholism, I would be devastated for the rest of my days. So I'm definitely banking the Glasgow show, and then I'll hopefully catch at least half of them at Damnation, and a bit of Portrayal of Guilt as well. But I fucking love them, and I can also, as one of the bands, I can understand why people are a bit like, oh, it didn't click with me, but it clicked with me for my first listen to With Love from a Paddy Drum.
Lovely. It's a hell of a clash, that, mate. Have you...
Mate, you try to be funny? Mate, you get a few beers and you try to get cocky. Do you have anything else to add before you fuck off and go enjoy yourself? You seem like you're having a good time, though.
I've had 2 beers, just to be clear. But well, no, look, mate, enjoy. My words of wisdom for you are like, enjoy yourself. It's gonna be a trip. And when I come back, we run around like lunatics and have a fucking great time. Basically, do the hard work in the next 2 weeks when I'm not here, and then let's just have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And what should everyone do when they're listening to this and watch it on YouTube, James? Tell them, give them a wee nudge in the right direction.
Like it, subscribe. I like a share with your mates. I think share with your mates.
That's the one. That's the one you want. The share with your mates and WhatsApp. Tell one friend who will actually listen to your advice. Have you checked to this podcast? That's the real one that you want. The likes and subscribe, not fucking they're helpful. But on the old WhatsApp chat to the mate that listens to you, check out this podcast is the one that works.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that one, mate. It was a pleasure.
Always is, mate.
Enjoy your holiday.
Cheers.